Kyle here from All Media Reviews. Well, I guess I'll here to do sort of a hybrid of a calendar update and sort of announcement. Like, there's a bunch of stuff that came out, of course, recently the last few weeks in August. One being, or last week actually. Let me just pull it up again here. Last week was August, what, 23rd? Yeah, 23rd. I had it. No, I had it. I had the release calendar up. Yeah. And you had John Anderson's and the Band Geeks True, Mirror's Wheels Within Wheels also. Those were the two big releases. Nile had an album, and I haven't listened to Nile in ages. Motorcycle has too many albums, I can't keep up with them. Just like King Gizzard and the Lizard Wizard, and King Crow, and Flesh God Apocalypse. But, so, True from Johnny Anderson and Band Geeks, which, by the way, I loved Larry from Canadian Stud Muffins review of reaction to Scott's video for the Prog Corners video. But that album and Mirror's Wheel Within Wheels were the two kind of, I mean, I've only listened to both of them, about half of them once, so I'm still taking them in. I've liked what I've heard a lot, so I might find a time to do reviews for those at some point. But the other one that I can almost guarantee, which is coming out this coming week, I will do a review of, or technically it's Sunday, is the Circe Link and Christian Nesmith. That's actually Circe's name first. Circe Link and Christian Nesmith's album Arcana, which here up on my flash drive when I got it, but for the new album Arcana. This is the album they put out in 2021, Cosmologica. Prog rock, yes, and Porcupine Tree especially. You hear a lot of that in, with Circe's voice especially, but I've only listened to the new album Arcana once. The album comes out next week, but they sent the pre-order people download links. So my goal is to, and I even emailed Circe back, that I'm going to try to do something, talk about the record. So I would say if you like the John Anderson album very much, you would probably like this album. And same with this album, Cosmologica. So, but the other thing is, like, some of this other stuff that's come out, like the Milton Nascimento and Esperanza Spalding album, Milton and Esperanza, that record I'm still taking in. It's a long record. But this coming week, Bent Knees 20 Pills Without Water comes out on the 30th, along with Lepros's Melodies of Atonement. And I'm kind of, I don't necessarily give this much time, but then Tigran Hamasayan, The Birds of a Thousand Voices, comes out on the 30th. And then the one I'm probably the most excited for, not Bent Knee, though Bent Knee I'm definitely going to give a go, is the Giannis and the Yaw, Lagos, Paris, London, featuring Tony Allen. Giannis from Foals. So that's all this coming week. So the week after, we have Pure Reason Revolutions coming up to Consciousness, and David Gilmour's Luck and Strange. And then there's also this Doom Flamingo, which Doom Flamingo is the bass player from Humphreys McGee's side project, which they're like from a different area or something like that, like Atlanta. But the first single came out. It's only an EP that's being released, but the first single came out, and I really loved it. It was Ryan Stasic, that's his name. They have the EP list. They don't have it on Rate Your Music right now, but it's called The Measurements EP. The first single is really good. Super catchy. The vocals remind me, it's a female singer, remind me of someone, a little bit like the singer from Local Natives, but someone else. But I'm looking forward to that, probably as much as the PRR record that same day. So then, I mean, there's Jordan Rudess has Permission to Fly coming out as well. The week after is Tim Bonus, Big Big Train. Tim Bonus, well, I like his podcast with Stephen Wilson, The Album Years. And I like a little bit of No Man. I've never really been, because it's so new agey. A lot of his music is that style. So I know people are going to want to check it out, though, that like him and No Man, of course, and just within the Stephen Wilson Porcupine Tree fan base. Other than that, let's see, Kimbra's album Idols and Vices Volume 1, which the singles are really not doing a lot for me, so I don't know. That's coming out on the 25th of September. And then Weather Systems on the 27th, so 2 days later, Ocean Without a Shore. That's the thing from it. Danny Kavanaugh and some other former members of, like, the Lee Douglas, I think. The Douglas is from former of Anathema. So that's it for September right now on the calendar. The band-maid album coming out on the 25th has a song that they collaborated with The Warning, or at least Danny from The Warning. So I may check that out just for that reason. Band-maid, they all sort of, I think Japanese, I'm not sure. But they're an all-female, band of, from some part of, I think they're Japanese. Some people love them. They're kind of in the power metal vein. Are they Japanese? Yeah, yes, they are. Anyway, they've been around since 2013, so they're not a new band. But I don't know. I just wanted the whole thing with the whole Danny and the Warning connection. That one, which the video's already out. So I mean, I might want to just see it. I don't know if there's any more songs with that one song. The video with the two of them is already out. It's been out for a few weeks now. So starting in October, then. One album that came up because the announcement that Black Midi is on indefinitely over, whatever that means. But the singer and frontman named Jordy Greep, Geordie, Greep, Greep, put out a video that's really catchy, catchier than anything Black Midi ever did. And the debut album is called The New Sounds, coming out on October 4th. It's kind of interesting that the band breaks up, then he has this album. I wonder either he went to the band with this music and they didn't want to do this music, and so he's like, I'll just do this on my own. Or he just kind of said, I'm writing music, doesn't fit for Black Midi. I think we got to take a break, guys. I'm not sure. But they played here a few years ago. I didn't go. I mean, Squid to me, and then Ugly. The Black Midi's not quite there, and then I put Black Hunting Road below even Black Midi. But anyway, at least if you're a Black Midi fan, you should look forward to this. I don't know what the other members are going to do until they ever get back together or do anything, but Public Service Broadcasting comes out with an album, The Last Flight, the same day. I might check it out. Coldplay, Moon Music as well on October 4th. The 11th, the next week, Field Music's Limit of Language. I've talked about that. Opeth, The Last Will and Testament. I don't know if I talked about that since the last update. That was announced like a month ago or 3 or 4 weeks ago. And there's a little growling. I'm not necessarily sold on if I'm going to get into this. I will listen to it for sure. I've wanted Opeth to have the mix, but again, some of it's the style of music, and their music in the late 90s and the 2000s, to me, had another aesthetic. It didn't sound like retro kind of psychedelic prog. It sounded more like Opeth, with the influences, but modern. I don't know, but I'm interested in this, in growling included. But I just hope the growling isn't like sort of a novelty and it's overt. Kings of the Frost album, Life in Wires. People are going to love that. That comes out on the 18th of October. Kings of Mercia, the Jimmy Theo side project, one of his a few side projects. He put out that record earlier this year with Ray Alder. But Battle Scars, unfortunately, the first record I didn't get that into, so like a lot of Fates Warning fans, sadly. But I don't know, maybe this will surprise us. That's on the 25th of October. Kings of Mercia's Battle Scars, their second album. Devin Townsend has Power Nerd, but I've kind of jumped ship on Devin Townsend, but people are going to want to know that. That's on the 25th of October. And then the Von Hertzen brothers in Murmuration. I think that's correct. Murmuration. That comes out on the 25th as well. So the 25th, there's a few notable records, but something called from Gigan, Anomalous, I don't know. So that's basically it. Vola has an album in November 1st, but Neil Morrison, The Resonance, again. Thy Catafalque. I know some people that know these bands or like them. I mean, obviously I know Neil Morris. I know Vola. I never got into them, but Vola has an album, Friend of a Phantom, on November 1st. Neil Morrison, The Resonance, is November 7th. No Hill for a Climber. So, otherwise, other information that's been released. We're still waiting on Palmini. We're still waiting on Moron Police. We're still waiting on Fido. Brian Scary, The House That Time Forgot. He did share a song, and he did a live show like a little over a week ago in New York. The new song was up on some radio show and did some covers and stuff. I haven't listened to the performance, but the new song I did. Even though it's not fully mixed, it's not the final mix. Yeah. Very piano-driven, very proggy. Very Brian Scary. It sounds a little bit like Birds, but I downloaded it. I forget the name of it. It's called... Let's see if it's on there. I don't know if it's actually on there. No. Actually, I think what I downloaded... Because there was a download of like an Listen M3U. I'd have to click on this. That's the other thing. There's a tour coming up that I might be going to. This is it. Yeah, I don't have the name of it right now. But anyway, I love Brian Scare. I've been really into Brian Scare the last year and a half, 2 years. So having new music from him and a new album potentially totally excites me. So I forgot about Simone Simons put out Vermilion. That was last week on the 23rd. I forgot about that. Thrice has an album called Horizons West that's in the works. But some of this other stuff is sort of in the works, and we're kind of nearing the end of the year for announcements where, I mean, sometimes bands just drop albums to sort of, it's coming out next week, and they don't talk about it. But, of course, Dream Theater, The Deer Hunters, Sunya. I'm probably going to be seeing The Deer Hunter and the Reign of Kindo. They're finally doing their tour. They've been waiting years, and tonight's the town hall. I don't know if I can get to go into the town hall for Kindo, the Reign of Kindo. I'll hear more about that, more details, but fans have wanted them to tour together for ages. It's not the whole tour, but it's most of the tour. It's like 10 dates or something. Not here in Minneapolis, but I'm looking to go to Chicago for it on the 25th. A year from the date from the Deer Hunter concert here in St. Paul, the 25th of October at the House of Blues. So, yeah, I mean, there's a lot of other stuff that could be coming out again we just haven't heard about, but it seems like for many weeks that I haven't done an update on this stuff. Sabotage, Crimson Glory, Subterranean Masquerade, The Tea Party, Textures. The Reign of Kindo album is going to probably come out relatively soon. It may not be this year, but it's probably going to be a double album. But again, that still remains to be seen. I don't know when the tour happens. We'll get maybe more information if it hasn't been announced by then. Yeah, I mean, there's stuff for next year that's starting to show up too. Northern Abbey the other day mentioned the Red Paintings, of course, the Tea Club, the Velveteen, White Willow. Galactic Cowboys made their campaign, so we're going to get a new album that probably won't be till next year. The Kevin Gilbert Estate, of course, the KMG Archive series, 6 of them, probably this fall, if not fall into next year, and then the Shaming multi-disc, Shaming the True. Yeah, I mean, stuff for next year. The Radicant's going to put out full length, of course. Capital Cities, Kelsey Ayer of Local Natives, Dirty Loops, Formal Horse, Happy the Man, Lato and Wright, Muse maybe, The Proto Men, I mentioned Subterranean Masquerade already. Akaphiza Fell Down the Veil. That's coming in October, so I forgot to mention that. It's definitely. Childish Japes, the second part, A Matter of Life and Death Part 2, featuring Childish Japes, featuring Joanna Teeters. Falling Up presents The Chilling Alpine Adventure. I'm not part of the Patreon, but they've been sending stuff to the Patreon, I guess. So, Clip 1918's Amore. You know, that's basically it. But, you know, it's at least there's stuff that has come out that I haven't talked about, and stuff that that came out that I haven't heard. But anyway, that's about it. There was one other, you know, the tours. There was one other thing I was going to mention. But as far as my agenda on doing videos and stuff, I want to get back to the albums of the year, but I do also want to start the compact disc A to Z. So I'm going to kind of juggle the two, and then eventually... I don't know. It's going to be 2026, but I want to do movies of the year. I've been watching Massey Entertainment and everything like that. But trying to get some of these reviews, maybe a Pure Reason Revolution series leading up to the new album. I don't know if I don't think I can do that. Maybe I'll do it after it comes out, because I would have had to, if I did it once a week like Pepe Deluxe, I would have had to already start it. But I don't know, because I had time off, but kind of balancing everything, of course. But thank you for watching, and we'll see you next time.